Okay, I would like to start the item number 1, call to order and roll call. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Palm Springs Unified School District Equity Committee meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 7, 2024. I will now call the meeting to call to order. May we have a roll call, please?
Board Member Espericueta,
Here.
Board Member Urban,
Here.
Assistant Superintendent Kovach,
Here.
Superintendent Tony Signoret,
Here.
Dr. Crawford,
Nicole.
Oh, I apologize. I thought she said Dr. Pfeffer, and I was like, Jim's coming? Dr. Crawford, yes, I'm here.
Item number 2 is approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
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 The motion passed. And the item number 3 is public comments. Have we received any electronic comment this afternoon?
we have not received any electronic comments.
Is there anyone present who would like to give the oral comments?
There is no one currently waiting or viewing.
Okay, good. And then we move to item number 4, information and discussion. Item number 4A, diversity and racial equity update report. Equity Lead will provide an update, and we have to overview since the last meeting.
Perfect. Can I get screen sharing access, please?
Give me just one moment.
Okay.
Okay, you should be good to go now.
There we go. All right. Watch your eyes, everyone, please. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see it?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, perfect. All right. Are we ready? Thank you, everyone. So it is our PSUSD Equity Subcommittee updates today, May 7th. Of course, I always like to acknowledge the land that we reside on, so I'd like to give thanks to the Cahuilla Band of Indians, just to let them know that we appreciate them allowing us to reside on their territorial land. And we'd like to recognize that the Cahuilla people have been here, past, present, and will be here since time immemorial. And I also like to acknowledge our equity statement. I know it's kind of long, but I like to highlight certain words that kind of stick out to me, such as equitable. We honor our diverse student population. We're committing to be an anti-racist and anti-discriminatory learning community. And we're creating spaces where students are welcomed, included, and respected every single day and every single student. So with that, these are some updates from the Diversity and Racial Equity Department from January up until current April 2024. These are some of the items that I'd like to review for today. I'll be talking about the CASA presentation that happened in March in San Diego, the Select Committee on Native American Affairs testimony also that happened in March, the HBCU and HSI College and Culture Tours, the STEP workshop, affinity groups, our anti-racism coalition meeting, conscious education training updates, as well as our LGBTQ Safe Schools Town Hall updates. And finally, updates with Nicole Anderson's training with our equity lead. And as I go, if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself, jump on in. So first off, I'd like to acknowledge that our district was invited to be facilitators at CASA, which stands for the California Association of African American Superintendents and Administrators. And I was able to present on Wednesday, March 13th. I co-facilitated with Dr. LaTanya Strange. She's the coordinator of equity work in Desert Sands Unified. And our topic was exploring and Unpacking Bias, How to Address Historic Inequities Through Unconscious Bias Training. And it was an awesome 3-day event. I know I saw board member Irvin there and our superintendent, Dr. Signoret, as well. And I know that board member Madonna was there, so Dr. Madonna Jarrell. So it was a great time. Here's some photos from our session. On the bottom right-hand side, that was the flyer that CASA pushed out to attendees. And this is our breakout session. We had about 100 people or so present within our session. So we had a really good turnout. It was an awesome crowd. Next, I was asked by Assembly Member Ramos to testify on the Select Committee on Native American Affairs. So I was invited to speak at the state capitol on Tuesday, March 19th. And the focus truly was to discuss the successful implementation of Indigenous curriculum. Since we've been working with the Cahuilla tribe, they invited the tribe as well as myself to go ahead and speak about how we work together to develop the curriculum and how we're implementing it in our elementary, middle, and high school courses, and just the best plans of actions. And here's some photos from that hearing as well. On the upper left-hand side, that's everyone who testified. So California State Superintendent Tony Thurman was also there, but he had to leave before we took our photos. And on the bottom right-hand side is Kate Anderson and Anthony, who are from the Cahuilla tribe, and Assembly Member Ramos. And I'd like to give some updates on our HBCU and HSI College and Culture Tour. The tours took place, the HBCU tour, Historically Black College and University Tour, took place from March 23rd to March 29th in Washington, D.C. The Hispanic Serving Institution Tour took place from April 1st to April 7th, and that was in Austin, Texas. Both tours were a huge success. It was amazing. And I will be giving you more information at our board meeting on May 14th. So I don't want to go into more detail or show too many pictures yet, because I want to impress you all at our board meeting on the 14th. So everyone tune in for that and attend.
And Dr. Crawford,
Yes.
will you share just a little bit about how many students will be joining you as well Tuesday evening
Yes.
at
So
Palm Springs High School?
Yes, so all of our kids have been alerted that we will be presenting some updates on the 14th at Palm Springs High. We have asked all 48 students to join, and I'm hoping that they all will. They'll also be wearing their tour shirts, so they'll be easily spotted. And you'll be hearing from them as we present. Our students will be sharing their experiences, what they've learned, the different universities that they've attended, the fun extracurriculars that we took place to kind of build community within the trip. And just some highlights as well, because not only is it a college tour, it's also a culture tour. So I also want them to talk about connections that they've made within their own cultural communities and things that they were exposed to while they were on the trip.
Dr. Crawford, I had a question.
Sure.
What is the status at these tours related to support, in money, in different ways, to keep it the same amount of student or to increase the amount of student? Is still tied to even to keep the existing amount of student going to this tour, or exists the possibility to increase the amount of students?
Well, to be honest, I know I work with Dr. Pfeffer. He oversees our state and federal budgets, and he's done amazingly. We did budget for 3 years worth of tours. So this is our 3rd year, and we are pushing. I know that Dr. Kovacs and Dr. Signoret truly understands the importance of these tours, and they do support the tours. So we are working on finding funding to continue this, because it is very impactful for our students. We are in the works because, again, we are discussing logistics behind it, budgeting matters and stuff like that. I know Dr. Kovacs unmuted herself. I don't know if you wanted to join in, Dr. Kovacs.
Yes, so, and we're also looking at options of a different funding source, possibly the A through G grant instead of Dr. Crawford's LCAP budget. So as a matter of fact, Dr. Pfeffer and I were having a conversation about it at the APAC awards last night. So Mr. Espedicueta, we will be able to share more information with you about that very soon, because of course we want to continue, and I understand your desire to increase the number of students.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So again, May 14th, you'll hear more about our tours. So we hosted our first, we call it the STEP workshop, but it's students and the enforcement protocol. So myself and Jarvis Williams, who's the coordinator of family engagement, we had kind of a brainstorming session. And one of the things we talked about was supporting our students of color and what ways we can do that and build, community throughout the school district as well as outside entities. So we talked about one of the great things we could put together is kind of like a safety enforcement driving kind of protocols, like how to interact with the police during traffic stops, what to do, what certain protocols they should take. So we designed the STEP workshop, and it was a great success. So on Tuesday the 23rd, over 25 families, including parents, guardians, siblings, and students, they learned about correct practices when dealing with law enforcement when it comes to traffic stops. And we geared this towards new and upcoming drivers. So it was geared toward our 11th and 12th graders. We had 2 guest speakers from Palm Springs Police Department, Officer Wilson and Detective Sergeant Torres. And while we were in the workshop, we went over again just best practices for our students when they are pulled over, because a lot of them don't know what to do. And it is scary to be stopped by the police. So we went over what to do. We role played specific stops when it came to traffic violations. We engaged in different trivia. We raffled off things during the trivia, and we were able truly to kind of drop down this kind of guarded feeling with the police, and we were able to create relationships with Officer Wilson and Detective Sergeant Torres. And it was a really, really great experience. We've had multiple requests to host another one. So that is the goal, maybe hosting 2 a year, one in the fall and one in the spring, because it was a great success. Mr. Spediquip?
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Shelley. Go ahead, Shelley.
Just curious, how are the students chosen? And,
They're we invite all 11th and 12th graders. We are thinking about opening it to 10th, 11th, 12th, because we're thinking of the driving age permits and licenses, and that's typically our 11th and 12th graders. But next time we're thinking about having it for our 10th, 11th, and 12th, because 10th graders can have permits. Some of them may have a license by that age.
and then, next question is, I don't know if I speak for Sergio, but I wouldn't mind having an invite for that.
Sure, most definitely. It was a great workshop. Great workshop.
And then when in planning, next year, Dr. Crawford, let's just be sure, I'll remember not to do it on a board meeting night.
Yeah.
I think this one was, make sure we send the invitation and make sure it's not on a board meeting night.
Most definitely.
Yeah, thank you. I would like.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shelley, for propose that. Also, another question that I have is, this officer came from the Palm Springs Police Department. The protocol usually is using the whole police department and sheriff, or each police department have different protocols?
The police departments typically have set protocols. So wherever they are in the state of California, there are certain protocols that you should follow. And the police officers went over that in detail, and they were able to actually pull in audience members, some of our kids who attended, to have them pretend, okay, you're getting pulled over. What do you do? These are the steps that you take. These are the questions that you should answer. These are your rights to have to answer and not have to answer. Because a lot of our kids think I just have to answer everything and I have to consent to a breathalyzer and I have to consent to a vehicle search, and that's not true. So a lot of our kids had kind of a misunderstanding that was truly clarified during this training. But there are set specific protocols, at least for the state of California, that all officers and drivers should abide by.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Then I had some, go ahead, Mr. Urban.
Okay, one more thing before you go on. Is there any way that we also can, is it for anyone that is in the district? So it's for all of our students in the district, 11th and 12th grade?
Yes, but we're thinking about, again, adding in 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Okay, so 10th, 11th, and 12th. Can we also think about rotating the officers? So some of the officers maybe in Desert Hot Springs could get a relationship with some of the students from Desert Hot Springs, as well as the Rancho Mirage sheriffs and different things like that. Can we rotate the officers so they can build a relationship inside of their communities with our students?
Most definitely. I will try my hardest to rotate. Again, it also depends on availability with the officers and the shifts that they work. So I know for sure that we were able to connect with the Palm Springs Police Department. So we'll definitely reach out, because I know that we have connections at other police departments as well. So to rotate it, or have someone from each department there every time that we hosted as well. We could do that. So these are little logistical things that we can work out while we're planning for sure. So I did want to show the flyer that we sent out. This was again for all students. We also sent it out to all parents and guardians. And that's on the upper left-hand side of your screen. That's the officers role playing with some of the student participants. And on the bottom, those are some of the families that attended after the raffle and they left. We had some great raffle things, by the way. We had Miller's Driving School. They donated 3 different sets of driving courses, and it equated to almost $1,000 worth of donations that they gave to our students. So it was a great time. So I also like to let you know that we had our final affinity group gathering for the year. And this took place on April 17th, which was a Wednesday. And it was open to all PSUSD staff. And we really explored our privileges and how we're able to affect change in a positive way by utilizing those privileges. And it was honestly a really, really great time. It was sad because it was our last one for the year, because it's such a great place where we refill our cups and recharge our batteries, just being around such amazing people. And we are planning to have multiple sessions next year as well.
Once again,
Yes.
I would really appreciate being able to get emails and invites to that. I have not gotten an invite to that, and I would love to have the opportunity to go to it. I don't know about you, Sergio, but I wouldn't mind going as well.
No, and everything related to this topic, yeah, I'm interested to be there. Yeah, it's important for us to also.
Perfect. Yeah, I would be happy to have you both. I will inundate you with invites to attend all the things that I'm doing. I would love it.
And what we can do, Dr. Crawford, is once we have compiled the dates and the trainings, to share it with Erica and Monica, and they can send out the invites for all the board members.
Sure. And we also hosted 2 of our anti-racism coalition meetings within the last few months. On February 7th, we had our second ARC meeting. Joy Cox was our guest speaker, and she focused on how to increase engagement among African-American students. So all participants were able to receive a training and facilitation by Joy Cox, which was amazing. And on May 1st, we had our final ARC meeting of the year, and we had guest speakers, Dr. Killian and Mr. Vince Gigante, and they focused on engaging Asian American students. So we're really trying with our anti-racism coalition, we're truly trying to make sure that we're hitting as many assurances within the OE13 as possible. So bringing in other stakeholders and staff within Palm Springs Unified has really been a focal point for us, and it's been working amazingly because we're receiving in-house trainings from people who also work in-house. And just some updates. Conscious education, we've had 21 sessions as of January 2024. We have 2 Spanish-speaking sessions. The first one took place April 6th and 13th. The second one will be taking place the latter part of June, so June 22nd and June 29th. And we've had great feedback from our Spanish-speaking staff, how they really appreciate that we're being inclusive by offering both English and Spanish trainings. And we do have plans to host 7 more trainings throughout the month of June and July, just to really update people because it is a mandatory training, and we will offer more throughout the 24-25 school year. Over half of our staff thus far has been trained in Conscious Education 1.0. We have a little less than 1,500 staff still to go. So that's why we are still offering more trainings throughout the months of June and July, as well as throughout the rest of the school year, and also for new employees so that they will have the opportunity to train and attend. Dr. Kwas, do you have any?
No, you're fine. You said
okay, sorry. All right.
the number.
And just some updates with our LGBTQ Safe Schools training. So Dr. Pompey has successfully completed his introductory level course. He's trained all of the school sites, so all of our sites within PSUSD. He's also trained 2 different sessions with equity leads. He's met with our mental health therapists. district leadership, school nurses, psychologists, and our counselors. So he's done a ton of trainings within PSUSD. He also offered 3 different town hall sessions, and this was specific for parents and guardians this school year. 2 of them were on Zoom and 1 were in person. I will be honest, attendance has been relatively low. I would say between 5 and 10 families typically attend. And he also met with our Board of Education on Tuesday, February 13th, just to give you all some updates about the trainings he's done so far, the successes, the groups, and any questions that you all had regarding the training sessions and ed codes that he oversees and overviews. Pausing for any questions. Okay. And some updates with Nicole Anderson and Kevin Taylor. So her consulting team has met with principals and different site administrations for the final time of the school year. And that took place, let me move my screen. That took place in April. Site principals have also been working with their equity coach monthly. So someone from Nicole Anderson's consulting team has been working with site principals. Site principals also created a 90-day action plan. So they're working on it at the end of this school year to bring it into fruition and action for 24 and 25 school year. And equity leads will be working and supporting their principals closely to ensure that everything that they have in the plan will be able to be implemented successfully. And again, this is in hopes to positively affect all of our students and staff within Palm Springs Unified.
Curious, how many equity leads do we have, and what is their job description?
Sure. So we have 28 equity leads, and
School side. Mhm.
yeah, 1 from every single school site, elementary and secondary, as well as our alt ed. Essentially, they are the point person for equity work. So it's the trainer model. So I meet with equity leads once a month. I either train them with best practices, go over educational codes. We discuss, questions, concerns, plan implementation on campuses, how to be best successful with those types of implementations. They work with their site principals and admin team to support any works that they have going on, different action plans. They meet with parents when parents have questions or concerns about, curriculum or incidents that may have happened on school site. They attend different trainings. They train their sites. For example, they've trained sites with restorative practices to build community within the classroom. They've trained their school sites on making schools a hate-free zone. So talking about, derogatory language, abusive language, stuff like that. And they also train their staff on a equity self-reflective toolkit. So best practices, whether you're in a department or a school site or in a classroom, how to create a truly inclusive environment for everyone involved. So they have kind of their arms in a bunch of little things that they're doing throughout, but it's been very impactful work.
Do they do anything with the students directly and the parents, or are they just trainings are dealing with administration?
It depends on the school site. Some equity leads have been a little more involved with the students and parents. Some of our equity leads oversee like the GSAs, the kindness clubs, rainbow clubs on student campuses or on campuses. Some of them have been present when there have been parent-teacher meetings or parent admin meetings. Some equity leads and myself have been there as well. So it kind of varies based on the needs of every single school site, right? What they need support with.
So these equity leads, are they teachers that are already there on campus?
They are
Or
teachers
are they?
and they're counselors as well.
On the campuses.
They're on the campus, the point person on the campus.
Okay, and so is that specifically their job duties, is to specifically work with with the equity department and doing different things there, or do they have multiple different jobs, or do they just regular teachers and this is just added on part of their job description?
So they are either classroom teachers or counselors or someone from the school site, and they are also an equity lead. So this is an added position for them.
And they're receiving a stipend for that. So that's embedded into our collective bargaining agreement. So the equity leads receive stipends for the work that their duties.
Oh,
You
okay,
know what, I think it may be a good idea also for us to share the duties and responsibilities with the board on the
Yeah.
Friday. We'll add that document as well. Go
Okay.
ahead, Mr. Urban, I'm sorry. You were gonna ask.
No, I was just wondering, I just wanted to know just kind of a explanation. I don't think we've ever had anyone to kind of explain to us exactly what they do or who they are. I
Sure.
mean, on campus, it would be nice maybe if sometimes when we're doing our visits, if we can maybe meet that equity lead and talk and maybe find out some of what they're doing, that's for that stipend. And are these teachers that are looking for this type of a stipend, or is this something that has been just offered to them, or do they kind of seek out this position to be equity lead?
So we did ask principals to select their equity lead because they will be working closely hand in hand. So we wanted to ensure that the site admin chose someone that they know they work well with, they're comfortable with, because equity work is very personal, it's very emotional, and it can get very, heated at times. So that we wanted to make sure they truly had someone who was supportive of them and the work that we want to accomplish. This is the second year that equity leads have been in place. So the first year was truly, I would say, like bulking up their tools, like building their toolkit. So year one was a ton of trainings. They received trainings for best practices from Dr. Pompey multiple times about ed codes with LGBTQ kids and how to create safe learning environments. They received trainings on from our special ed department on best practices with students with disabilities. They've received trainings from our English learner programs coordinator on best practices for our English learner students. So year one, again, was just foundational knowledge, building the toolkit. This year was, let's get our feet on the ground. Let's kind of get into the water. Let's get wet a little bit, see what's going on. Year three is, okay, we're here. Now we're executing. These are the plans. These are our missions. This is what we're doing. We are like waist deep now in the water. We're about to go swimming.
And so just one more thing and I'm done with it.
Okay.
So with the aspect of it, I didn't hear anything about academics or absenteeism or anything like that. Are they helping and working with improving those numbers as well?
Honestly, as of right now, no, because each school site has either a community liaison or a FACES rep who does do more of that actionable work when it comes to chronic absenteeism. The equity leads position is more ensuring equitable practices are being held throughout the school site, I would say.
Okay. And so if you can, Dr. Kovacs, if you can have the opportunity to maybe provide us with a list for that Friday, a list of the names of the liaisons that we have, and if we can see as well a breakdown of what that stipend looks like that they're receiving.
Yeah, so we'll share the information with you with the names of the equity leads for each school site, as well as we have like a one-page flyer with their duties on it. So we'll share that in the Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Crawford. Yeah, no, Charlie already asked my question, was those two who qualify for that lead position, and also it is possible in the future, can we have one meeting together with them?
Yeah, almost up.
I know that is not easy because it's 27 and people to put all together, but it is possible, yeah, to do something.
Yes, most definitely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So with that, some upcoming events. So we just had our multicultural festival on Saturday, and Mr. Espericueta, I know that you attended. It was a great event. I'll go into more detail at our next subcommittee meeting, but we had over 850 people in attendance, and I would say that was pretty successful, and it was a great time. And we are also hosting our Diversity and Racial Equity Conference on September 7th. And the theme for this year is Allyship and Beyond. So that's already in the works. We're already planning. Registration has already opened. We have about 75 to 100 people already registered for the event. So we're really excited about that. And that is it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So please watch your eyes. And if anyone has any other questions or anything they'd like more explanation on. I did that good, right? Okay.
No more question or comments? Okay.
I think I've asked quite a bit.
Valid questions though, board member Urban, I'll say that.
Yeah, okay. It's now we move to item number 5 is members' comments. Do any member have any extra comments to share?
Just quickly, I would like to see, for the subcommittee, maybe if we possibly can get, a little bit of a breakdown of our absenteeism, some data information. So maybe in one of our next future meetings, going forward, if we can get some data for our academics as well as our attendance and different things like that, and see, compare from prior years and see if we're pushing the dial, or as Tony says, if we're turning the dial here in the district, and moving forward and being successful with our department. I would really appreciate something like that.
Yeah, I have another comment. I don't know if it's appropriate or not in this part about the tours, HBCU and the HSI. Is both are good tour, but I think if it's possible to figure out something to take more Hispanic to Washington, because Washington have a lot of history. I had been there only 1 or 2 times and have history that cover many areas, including we know that is the main government there, and is a good experience for any person, can be adults or in the student, very beneficial. And I'm not saying anything about to continue sending to Texas. It's fine, but is it possible to figure out something to take Latinos or Native American and to Washington? I'm seeing is a unique experience. It's been there, yeah, for anyone. Thank you.
But do you think, Sergio, do you think if they were to go to Washington, D.C., do you think that they would be able to get some of that cultural aspect that they're getting from San Antonio and Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, and I'm seeing, because I was thinking about that, for example, when we go about relating the culture of in this case, the Hispanic community, we are lucky that we are in California, and California have a lot of history about the roots related to Hispanic. And I'm seeing that the going to Washington maybe is not necessarily related to Hispanic root. I'm talking more about probably different program related to the experience that they get for the federal government in Washington.
So
Maybe something separate, because in being in California and being in Texas is good information for the Hispanic, because those 2 states have a lot of information to understand where we coming from. That is
I,
good,
I
too important.
just something to throw at you too, to think about. Sacramento also has a lot of that
Sacramento,
feel that government that you're speaking of, and it's our capital, California. So
yeah.
Maybe that could be a little bit of a better idea, because Sacramento also has a lot of that.
A lot of information.
Yeah, like a lot of the government and things like that, where they can get that aspect of it as well.
So,
Yeah.
Mr. What I will say that I did, since it is a college and culture tour, I did research the Washington, D.C. area, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Maryland, because the thought, it was a suggestion prior, like, why don't we take both tours out to Washington, D.C.? And there are no Hispanic serving institutions there.
Yeah.
So that's the hard thing, is that if you want especially if we're focusing on both the college aspect and the cultural aspect, our
Yeah.
Latino kids will not get the cultural aspect truly in Washington, DC, because it doesn't have any colleges out there that would serve that population. And there aren't nearly as many museums either. So they would
And
get the political realm and the American history of it, but the actual flavor and culture, they would not receive out there.
Yeah, and also I see, is listening the student experience that they have is very beneficial to be out at that state, because I know that California is they have a lot of opportunities, but it's good experience that they get going far away from their hometown.
It is.
And I don't know if they will feel the same experience going. Maybe I think the school district and many other school districts, they try to have tours to Sacramento. I'm not sure our school district, but that is a good suggestion for Charlie too. It's good experience. It's true.
Mhm.
Uh,
They
Yeah.
do
got,
with
got,
And it's
California more.
close. And
got a good idea for you too, Sergio,
Yeah.
as well. Maybe you might should take into consideration maybe attending the Texas to see the experience and the different things that the kids are learning in Texas. That might be something
Yeah.
that could be a little beneficial to you as
That is
well.
another thing. Thank you, Sadi, for mentioning that, because to invite at least one board member to be with them, that's such a good opportunity to see the experience that they have directly, from us. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's
Right.
a good suggestion. I mean, we can open it up to, next year for
Mhm.
board member or two. Wouldn't want to be beyond two. We can Brown Act issues, right? But
Yeah,
at least maybe no more than two, and we can explore that as we kind of go down the line and looking at if there are modifications that we want to do down the line. So
yeah, and seeing maybe we have more information in the next meeting, but it looks like that the both groups are happy, for the places that they visit. They had good experience. They had a good opportunity to improve their you know their knowledge, and they grow up a lot going to those two places. Yeah, I'm okay with both places. It's a good tour.
yeah, I know that having the opportunity for myself to see it firsthand, and just seeing how the kids and the work, first of all, that Nicole and the team doing, but seeing the kids get experiences out of the Valley, out of California, in of itself was huge. And they got a lot of value out of both trips. So,
Yeah, I know.
but again, I think it's a good point. We can next year, as we get this plan, see if there's any board member that would like to go. At least, like I said, like I did, maybe not for the entirety of the week, but just maybe a
No.
couple days.
When, yeah, it's good. Okay. There's no more comments. Okay, now we're going to the item number 6, approval of meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes for December 18, 2023?
Move for approval.
I second.
Second. Okay, we have motion and second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The motion passed. And item number 7 is serving at the next equity committee meeting. And item 7, setting the next meeting. And how can we figure out that we can leave that day open for, or you have days, Mr. Crawford?
Yeah, I don't think we have days proposed right now. I would suggest that again we propose some dates later on, starting for the next academic year, and then we can work both around Sergio and Charlie's schedule to make that happen.
How many more meetings we have? One more in this cycle, or?
As far as the subcommittee,
Yeah.
I believe
We're,
this
we're
is it.
supposed to have, well,
We're supposed to have one more?
June, we were supposed
Oh.
to, we moved the one from March to this date. I don't think we have a date set, but it's up to our board members. I don't think we have the date on the calendar, though.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, I know that, again, based on everybody's calendar, at least for the remainder of this month,
Yeah,
another meeting in would be extremely difficult. I think that would be very hard for all of us. If you wanted to get another one in, at least in June, we could probably look at doing something like that. Or we could wait until the next academic year. That's whatever you would like to do.
I'm okay to wait for a proposal in the future. Yeah.
For next school year, or you want to do it in June?
What do you think, Charlie?
Do we have anything planned for late June? Do we have like oh well, I guess we could look at seeing what our schedule looks like in late June, if you don't mind, Sergio. And if our schedule is a little busy in late June, then we can just wait until next year.
And I'll be honest, I don't know how many updates I'll have for you in a month, but we could.
Okay, I'm good with that.
but we also have our OA 13 study session, May 28th. So if we have any information about, maybe we can determine what the dates are for next year then, or something, just throwing that out there.
Okay. And now we move to item number 8, adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night,
Okay.
everyone.
All right. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you.